just kind of summarize where we've been so far, because we've talked about a lot here. So if you want, you can either follow along here or pull out your experience sheet if you've been making your notes. So we started at the beginning of the day all the way over here. We talked about how this fall we're going to be rolling out some additional opportunities where you can apply for that next step to stay involved with YCP, maybe after you're transitioning out of a leadership role. Maybe you've been in 2 terms as a leader, and what those next steps could look like, and how we really desire for you to continue your involvement with YCP. So we started over there. We came all the way back to the beginning here, to the plan, recruit, apply, and screen stage. So we talked about some best practices for recruiting. We talked about Angela stepping in as that transition coach to support your chapters, so she could really help build that strategy hand in hand with you guys, and we can take a little bit more of that burden off of you. We talked about the new application website we have that's launched that we'll continue to add to, and would love your thoughts on anything additional that would be helpful there. And then we moved on to the onboarding phase. We talked about some improvements there that we've made this past year. We talked about the learning management system, Teachable, that we'll be sharing. And then we did the polling together so that we could really look at ongoing content that we can start to build out and provide for you guys. So we're really excited about that, and being able to provide that content to you on about a monthly basis, as you said, through email and short videos. So I got it all right up in here. But so we talked about onboarding, about continued learning, and then we came down and talked about the ongoing operations. We talked about the exciting change here to our technology infrastructure with your membership. You heard from some of your fellow leaders there. And then we also talked about how we can have more effective time together as a team, in our team meetings, especially in our spiritual growth. And then we wrapped up just talking about hospitality and kind of putting ourselves back in that mentality. So here we are now, basically back at the end, back where we started. And so as we wrap up here together, thinking about our next step, our hope is that when each of you, when it's time for you to transition to your next phase within YCP, that we can each set up our successors to almost be more successful than us in a way. I was a Boy Scout. And as a Boy Scout, when you go camping, I'm sure those of you that have done it before, when you go camping, the idea is always to leave it better than you found it. Leave your campsite cleaner than when you got there. So the idea is if there was trash there, you're supposed to pick it up. We're supposed to make it even cleaner than the last person. And so I think that's part of what we're called to here, because as Garrett said, we're all stewards of this mission. This is not just the national staff, the national board, or even your boards. We are one single unified family here that are stewards of this mission, each of us representing the faith through YCP, through this unique charism we've been given. So with that, I would just have us think about what will it take to set up your successor to do a better job than you would do. So a lot of this here, apply, recruit, onboard, learning, that's more about you. It's more about us individually. But as you get here, this cross-training, it's no longer about you individually, the Anns, the Claires, the Marias, but it's about the next person. How are you setting them up to be a disciple maker in a way?